Here we have Johnny Parsons, Jr., driver of one of the four-cylinder cars. Johnny, you're out of the race. What happened?
Well, we're not sure. Maybe something with the mag, Paul. We had to run a lot of spark in it just to keep up with the V8s. We're at such a disadvantage with horsepower. When we do that, we take a chance of, well, losing the mag and also burning a piston. And or if we run enough fuel through it, we'll just run out of fuel. But that's all we can do, just trying to keep up with them.
There has been some complaint during practice about the track being a little rough and it being very hot here. Did that affect your operation?
Not today. No, we were ready for the heat, and the track is always rough here in Texas. And no, we were ready to go racing, but we just didn't last very long.
Johnny Parsons, Jr., out of the race, Ken.
11th race of the year, and the attrition rate continues to build in this event. A.J. Foyt currently in second place and trying to close on Sneva. The interval between them now about 3 seconds between Foyt in second and the leader, Tom Sneva, trying for his first win of the year. Midway back in 1977 was his last victory. High attrition rate, high temperatures today, 135, 140 degree cockpit heat. It's about 100 degrees right down on the asphalt now here at this Texas track where it's 200 miles, 100 laps of competition. Sneva out in front, Penske car, and here is Tom Bagley, the mini Indy champion of last year, who switched to the championship cars for this season, and he has his blue and yellow colors on pit road. Bagley, number 22. Wife works in the crew there with him. George Bignotti checking his position very carefully here. His driver came from 15th, flew his way up into the 4th position. Gordon Johncock in the number 20 car of the Pat Patrick team. Leader continues to be Sneva. Tom Sneva is first. A.J. Foyt remains in second. Stabilized in third is Mears. Then comes Rutherford in fourth. Gordon Johncock is in fifth. Here in our live coverage of the Texas 200. On the 22nd lap, the 44th mile, A.J. Foyt pitted for 11 seconds. He's just come back on the track. Before he pitted, the car directly behind him, Rick Mears, had been closing on him. Foyt came in quickly, went back on the track. Paul Page trying to find out that story right now. Meanwhile, Sneva leads, but closing is his teammate, Rick Mears, and it's the first time here on CBS that we have seen Mears running against Sneva. The last time here it was against Andretti, and it could be a confrontation between the Penske cars to decide this race today. Waiting to see if there will be a pit stop among these lead automobiles in the next 2 or 3 laps. How about it, Dan?
Well, AJ came in at 46 miles. I think that's far too soon, so he had some other problem. Now here he is just behind the leader, only a lap down.
But could he have rectified it in 11 seconds? It was such a quick pit stop.
He could have, but it's not very likely, Ken.
He's back at full pace again, full song. Here he is out of turn 2. Doesn't take very long to get a lap down on this racetrack. It's 2 miles, but boy, do they come around this thing, like in 34 seconds to cover 2 miles.
I think now AJ is pushing Tom Sneva. Now they're both pulling away from Rick Mears.
Second place is the Mears car at the present time. Running in third is still Rutherford. And Rutherford is having a very good second half of the season. In his last 4 races, he has finished no worse than second. 3 second places, 1 first. So the McLaren problems earlier this year seem to be clearing up.
Yes, that's a very tough combination, and they're certainly in this race. As it unfolds, I'm sure they'll be there.
We're showing in the 4th position, car number 20. And the driver there is Gordon Johncock, who started back in 15th. Now there's the leader going below the line to move up a spot. Here is Pancho Carter. Carter had been running in 5th, is now in the pits. Pancho Carter was 5th in the pits. Frenetic pit stop there. Something amiss with car number 8. They finished the fueling and are pushing him back out. Apparently not anything amiss the way he came out. Leader continues to be Sneva. When they look at the back of the car like that on a pit road, what are they looking for? Just checking to make sure all the wiring, all the electrical stuff is okay?
They try and observe all the tires, see if there's any cuts there, something of that sort.
Wally Dallenbach is pitting his automobile.
Looking for anything that might be loose.
Dallenbach had been in 6th position, car number 6. Change of tires tires on that machine. What does this heat do to these cars as far as the fuel goes?
Well, they have to use enough fuel to help cool the engine. That's one thing that methanol will do. But it's very difficult to get mileage at the speeds that Tom Sneva is traveling at.
28 laps, 56 miles have been completed in a 100-lap race. No sign of caution thus far, but the attrition has been heavy. The attrition has really been heavy out here today. A lot of the leading contenders have fallen by the wayside in the early going. Now they may be pitting both of the, here comes Rick Mears in number 7. You're watching as the car comes down into the pits.
Good shot
Rutherford
of that
is
pit stop.
pitting. John Rutherford is in as well. Mike Mosley is in as well.
You can see the fire protective hoods that the crewmen wear, Nomex hoods.
Caution is on the track for the first time. There is a caution on the track. There is a car that has dropped onto the bottom of turn 4, running very slowly, may have run out of fuel. Does that look like what I think it looks like?
I think you're right, Ken.
It's Dan Gurney's car that's brought out the caution.
No. I don't think so.
No,
I think you're right that it ran out of fuel.
It's Gilhousen.
Excuse me.
Spike Gilhousen's car. Saw that yellow on the front. I thought it was the Eagle.
We don't have yellow Eagles.
Yellow and red. Push truck immediately out there.
Our Eagles are very brave.
To bring in car number 19, Spike Gilhousen.
That was a tough break for Rick Mears to have to stop on the green. Now we'll see what this
will bunch up the field. This will gather the field back up as they pick up Spike Gilhousen's automobile in turn number 4. Gilhousen's car number 19 comes out a little thin up here in the 4th turn, and the field is bunching. Now remember, for the first time, they are not allowing the cars on pit road. Pit road is blocked until all the cars have grouped behind the pace car. Right, Daniel?
That's right, Ken, and it's conceivable. It just occurred to me that they could run out of fuel while they were not allowed in the pit.
All the cars could run out of fuel. Let's see what happens here, because this is a critical time. We're up to, what, 30 laps?
Also, the great opportunity for AJ, he's been able to unlap himself now because the pit car lines up, the pace car lines up in front of the leader, and of course AJ was a lap down, so he's waved on past the pace car, and he will be able to regain that lap.
Gordon Johncock down on the bottom of turn 4. Let's see if he's going to come in, if they're going to let them in. And apparently the pit road is open. We see one car coming down into the pits, and that is the car of Sneva. Let's go to Paul Page.
Here comes Tom Sneva into the pits. We'll see if this is routine. Of course, Dan Gurney brought up the very serious question of if they delay it, these cars were right on the time when they would be making their routine pit stops about 60 miles out into the race. Apparently no problems here. Tom Sneva takes on a load of fuel. They do not change the tires, and he is back to the competition under the yellow.
Again, the new rule today, and you can see Johncock on the bottom below the pace car itchy to get into pits. The new rule is they will bunch the cars back up to make it easier in scoring and to keep these cars together. Here's a late story from Paul Page. Let's go there.
Well, we saw A.J. Foyt make a pit stop ahead of everyone else. It was not what one would have considered a scheduled pit stop. I talked with John Fisher, one of his crew members, and asked him why they did it. He reminded me that A.J. Foyt runs the race team from the cockpit of the car. The answer was because he wanted to. It may pay off for him now.
There's the 48 car. Bobby Unser in the Gurney Eagle coming back on the track.
It looked as though they managed to kill the engine during that pit stop.
It's a good time to kill it, though, under caution rather than a little later on.
Ken, one of the reasons that they're running down low is because if they're up on the banking, they can run out of fuel that much easier.
Here come a flock of cars on the pit road, led by Gordon Johncock. Johncock is the first of the group in. Following him is his teammate, Krisolov. Both of the McNaughty cars in. Voigt is returning to the pits, as is Pancho Carter and Dick Simon. Those cars are all on pit road. Tom Bagley's automobile has been in the pits for some time. There's Gordon Johncock's pit crew going to work. This is under caution. First caution of the day coming at lap 30. Johncock back on the track. 4-cylinder automobile battling the V8s out here. Pace car gathering up the field. Dick Simon's car comes back out. Also returning is Pancho Carter. Voigt is in for some time. It's under caution, so he's not losing a lap here. There's your pace car on the back straightaway as you watch Dick Simon come out of the pits, followed by Pancho Carter. Simon, number 17, from San Luis Obispo Capistrano, is on the track, getting ready to get back into this fracas, looking for a USAC championship car win.
Changing the wing angle on the rear.
They say there's a jackrabbit on the track. This has been some day for unusual events, Dan. We'll return with more live action from the Texas 200 right after this word from your local station.
And you'll see, Neil, that they've got the tow truck out there.
Pace car is up in turn number 3. The field is all back together, and I would have Rick Mears as the leader at this point. Mears for the first spot, and I believe Johnny Rutherford for second. I say that the scoreboard has just gone south for a little while here. Well, they try to figure it out after the series of pit stop, but it would seem that Rick Mears would have the lead with Rutherford in second spot, and that would put Tommy Sneva back in third. Field coming down for a start. They will take one more lap before they are turned loose and give us a chance to review them for you as they come to the line, and they will be completing the 34th of 100 laps. It's Mears in first, Rutherford in second. Third would be Sneva, and fourth would be Bobby Unser. Fourth would be Unser. Fifth, Krisiloff or John Cock. What do you think, Dan?
Oh, I would say John Cock, but it is confusing at this moment.
Krisiloff is being listed in the next position back, and they say that Wally Dallenbach has dropped a lap down in that car number 6. They say that Dallenbach has dropped a lap off. That is the report from scoring. I'd wait on that for just a moment. Let's go to Paul Page for the story on A.J. Foyt's automobile.
Okay. A.J. Foyt had a long pit stop. During that pit stop, they raised the rear wing. Now, that means that apparently the car was sliding with the back end just a little bit. They have raised the wing. That gives it a greater attack angle into the air and forces the back end to stay on the ground. He's back in the competition now.
Thank you, Paul. A.J. Foyt trying to get a little better bite, to do a little stronger digging off that second turn and off this fourth turn here at the Texas World Speedway.
That's a desperate thing to do during a race, Ken. Very difficult to do it the right amount.
Why?
Well, he could do it a little bit too much and cause the front end to push or understeer and burn up his front tires. So
Pace car is coming in, and the resumption of this live United States Auto Club Championship car race for 200 miles comes down for the end of its 35th lap, and they are under green. And watch Johnny Rutherford as he goes after the leader, young Rick Mears. Had his start in off-road racing out of the desert, the star of the Baja race for so many years. Young Mears is in front, and he's pulling away from Rutherford as they go down the back straightaway. For the first time out since the caution flag, there is Mears with the advantage. Mears in front. Here's Rick Mears coming into turns 3 and 4. Coming around to complete the 36 of 100 laps. It will be Mears with the advantage. Johnny Rutherford running in the second position. Earlier, we asked Rick Mears how much of this racing is luck.
Well, I don't know. It's I feel like it's a big part of it. If you don't have any luck, you usually don't even get to the end of it. And I feel like that's the biggest part, is getting to the end, and that's what I work on first, is to try to get to the end of the race, and then everything else comes secondary.
He's working out in front right now. His younger brother, Roger Mears, is here today. Or I should say elder brother by a year. Roger is here hoping to get in Indy cars next year. Back to the line they come, and this will complete the 37th lap. Still Mears in first. Rutherford in second. Tom Sneva. Correction. Gordon Johncock now in third. Johncock's number 20 is in third. Then Sneva in fourth. Then in fifth, Bobby Unser, followed by Krisiloff in sixth. And running in the 7th position, A.J. Foyt. There's Johnny Rutherford. Second place car, the McLaren, Tyler Alexander, the crew chief. One of the best, Dan.
yes, and he's not losing any ground to Rick. That's going to be a real race.
Out of turn 4. Fast part of the track, and Sneva may be pitting again as they come down to turn 4. Tom Sneva, the number 1 car, number 1 of the USAC Championship Trail, is pitting another time. The leaders are into turn 1.
Definitely an unscheduled stop.
They push him right back out again.
Either they were not ready or they were able to fix something in a big hurry.
The leader continues to be young Rick Mears. He's come out and won 2 races this year. Unheard of. The third place car, Gordon Johncock, is closing on